presentation. He will do it within about 10 minutes time.
Thank you, Mr. Dasgupta, and welcome you all here. I'm standing in between your lunch and work timing, but this was not my choice to be last. Although I'll try to wrap it up as soon as possible. We had a lot of issues from consumer front and a lot of dissatisfaction, I'll say, and regarding the procedures, the protocols, the time-taking procedures and all that thing. Technically, there's always a silver lining in black cloud. So we need to see, because every time we cannot go back to government and ask them for support us. Yes, there is problem, we have to face it. And that's what we all need to work it out. There are solutions. I'm not very sure that it will be 100% applicable or admissible by you or not, but technically it is there for some who want to explore it. I'll not go much into background because anyways electricity is need and I can see the faces. That's how you are here. Electricity is main backbone of your industry and it is very much required in times. I'll just wrap it up. Basically we are into business of power trading primarily, and then we have a unit of power generation, a small unit, and advisory services also. We have started up our operations in 1994 and in fact we were the first independent power traders of country. Power generation, we have a small 5 megawatt initial testing capacity lined up as of now, and we are planning for ramping it up to 25 megawatt. In advisory, we are going for all brownfield, greenfield projects and setting up of captive units also we do advise. Apart from that, we also deals into energy transaction management services. Now come to the electricity part. The basic necessity of the whole structure is getting electricity to your premises. So basically you all must be knowing that it is coming through a series of network, and right from flowing of power through CTU to STU network, which is basically AP Transco, and then to your distribution company, which is ultimately giving you power. So that is how it broadly, on a broad sense, it looks like. The energy exchange is basically what you can look at on your left hand side is basically conventional way of working out energy requirement, which was primarily from distribution and backup from DG sets, which now in times it has evolved from left hand side to right hand side, where you can see that you have an option of buying power through an alternate source. And definitely the buying of power is not only restricted to, I'll quote private power, which is in generic common notion. It is not a private power, it is just electricity. Electricity does not differentiate between private and government, it is electricity. Yes, certainly it is not supplied to you by government, so it is a private commodity for you. Technically you can buy power either through bilateral sources, through a licensee, which is a trading company, or through power exchanges, which is nowadays getting momentum in case of AP and other states also. But technically, if you see the overall quantum on these platforms, not on the bidding volume but the clearing volume, the actual settlement wise, if you go, then the actual market of power trading through power exchanges is restricted to a range of 10 to 12% broadly on a day-ahead market. And still there are a lot of volumes. It has evolved from 0% to 13%, that is commendable. But yes, this is not the actual solution because it is not a long-term solution for you. It is a solution for short-term planning, like many of panelists also has quoted. Mr. Murthy was completely aggrieved by the fact that power exchanges, it is not giving him a long-term vision for planning and all that thing. So it is there. Apart from that, there is an option of banking and wheeling. Those options need to be explored in case of AP, and definitely it requires some kind of commercial commitment from your side also to be structured into group captive scheme and all that, which already it was discussed in legal panel that time. Current tariff structure, if you see broadly, it ranges in the range of 5 rupees 80 paisa to 8, 10, 8, 12, 8, depending on your consumption pattern and load factors, purely from supply side from distribution companies. Apart from that, we are using roughly 10 to 14 hours on an average annual basis of last 1 year. If you can see, you are depending on DG sets if you have. So that is something costing you around 10 to 12 to 15, 18, any kind of range. So technically you are exposing yourself to a requirement of electricity which is nominally coming to you at a price of say 12 rupees, 13 rupees, 14 rupees kind of structure. Recently, it was already discussed in previous panel, so I won't get much into it. And regarding this RNC measures which was imposed recently for off-peak and peak power for HT and other set of consumers. So that is how. But the crux of the matter, the basic underlining of this subject is basically you should not exceed your permitted contract demand. That is something a DISCOM may take up a case because they are subjected, they are required to fulfill your requirement. But that will force, these kind of scenarios are basically imposed much better acceptable, wider acceptability when there is supply from distribution company side. Considering scenario of AP where the supply is not at all there, and putting these kind of restrictions, that is something we need to see what exactly to be done. But anyways, we since we are here, we cannot take our industry today to AP, tomorrow to Karnataka, then to Hyderabad, then to Malleshwaram, any places. So that is how we need to live with it. APRC protocols, I will not much get the basic detailing of it, but technically the primary reason for all those scenarios which you are exposed to is basically you can write it down and attribute it to basic issues due to congestion of inter-regional grid, which is basically ER, SR, Eastern region, Southern region and Western region, Southern region links, because of non-availability of surplus capacity in short term primarily. So that is there, and then there was a bad monsoon which everyone has witnessed, and the shortage of gas supply which was anticipated that this kind of thing will be there in this current year, at least from last 5 years we were hearing, but as of now it is not there practically. So if you go through the data provided by ERCs, so the different kind of fluctuating month-on-month basis deficit scenarios are there, which is not in near future. I don't see much of relief to you if you are not willing to buy power at a higher cost, because yes, one of panelists has already he has mentioned that there is a corridor of 300 megawatt and there is buying of 3000. So when there is under supply, so definitely whoever is paying better is master of that power. So that is how as of now market is, and we as a trader cannot negotiate much on that part because it is up to generator who are not willing to give power on cheaper tariff. It's not as a trader we are inflating the cost. It is basically to a reason that generators are not willing to, they are also a businessman, they are trying to mint money in this difficult times, but they are doing their bit. The other factors also basically which was imposed to you is basically industrial cluster wise and all, which like in Tata has done something in case of Maharashtra where MERC has went ahead and provided a franchising kind of solution for industrial clusters. So that kind of solutions also can be looked into by state regulator, but as of now it is not there, so there is no such option. We have to live with the current RNC protocols, whichever is applicable in state. There is high penal provision, but with the efficient planning, because as of now the inter-region corridors are limited, so actually limiting your buying to a requirement that you buy from outside, which is other than southern region, is big question mark as we talk. So technically if you are looking for some power from within SR region or some within Karnataka or nearby SR region constituent, that may be of some help to you. Basically, what we provide services is basically giving you a portfolio management services. That portfolio does not restrict it to only giving you solutions from power exchanges. From bilateral also there are a lot of power is flowing within the region from Karnataka to AP, from AP to AP. So there are various permutation and combination which you can look into, because the common notion in industry is buying power through exchanges. That is the only solution. So that is something, a myth which you need to really work on and look into, because that is not the actual scenario applicable as of now. If you consider that load, sorry, I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to give you a brief tariff breakup for buying power through exchanges and buying power through bilateral basis on same costing. So if you see that bilateral on 33 kV, I'm not getting into 11 and all because it is not as of now in picture. But 33 kV bilateral basis, if you see the costing coming to be 8 rupees 30 paisa from 7 rupees 25 paisa power. If you calculate same from power exchanges at 7 rupees 25 paisa power, the power is coming to you at 8 rupees 34 paisa. So definitely it is a known example. You can go and verify these facts because these all are statutory cost and things are in nature, and it is available in public domain. So technically you see there are a lot of potential in exploring bilateral option, provided you are okay to go and determine your load for a longer duration. As of now also, we as a company are also supplying to a few of AP buyers, HT Industries in AP, who are buying 10 to 15 megawatt of load through bilateral power through us. So that is also again up to you what kind of solution you are looking at. So if you are willing to expose yourself more into exchanges formula, because it is a short-term game and on day-ahead basis, the planning and all, if you can do your planning accordingly, then it is a pure commercial call which you need to take. Likewise, if you go for 66 kV and above, the bilateral cost of same, I've kept 7 rupees 25 paisa because if I am giving this kind of presentation in Haryana and all, the cost is 4 rupees, but since I'm standing in AP, the cost is 7 rupees 25. I've taken a general nominal figure that average wise of last 6 months, so that you can have a feel, yes, this kind of power rates are going on, and you can't expect a 4 rupees power flow inside AP at this particular moment. So considering at 66 kV and above level connectivity what you have, if you buy power at 7 rupees 25 paisa, that will land to you something around 7 rupees 92 paisa range. But similarly, if you go for exchange on 66 and above, you will end up in paying 8 rupees 1 paisa. So even in this scenario, you are losing 9 to 10 paisa per unit. This is the case of fluctuating your charges and all POC. So considering a basic brief scenario also, you are losing 10 paisa to 10 to 12 paisa on each unit for buying through exchanges. So that is something you need to do a mix and match in your approach, because bilateral power as of now also 7,000 megawatt cannot be shoved into the system. So something like mix and match 1 megawatt through bilateral, half megawatt through exchanges, or if you have more than 1 megawatt load. Of course, there is not much of choice for 1 megawatt, but if you are going for higher like 5 megawatt, 6 megawatt, you have a valid choice, an option to work out a common strategy to mitigate long-term exposure to fluctuating cost on exchanges. We also offer services for facilitation of REC services and performance contracting, like I said, then energy audits. I'll not get much into it because it's all cases of HT Industry which we have served, and they have seen a lot of potential in going and buying power through bilateral basis rather than going on exchanges because of fluctuating nature. We also look forward to whoever is willing to explore possibilities of buying power on bilateral as well as exchanges. My colleagues are out here, they'll meet you and discuss with you. Definitely will be of some help to you. Basically, we are a SAP compliant organization, so everything is online, everything is structured online, all billing, invoicing. So there is no manual intervention done. So you can see everything is automated, procedures are automated, everything is done. So that is something what we provide, hassle-free transaction. You can go and bid your own power on our platform. You can for exchanges services. For bilateral, you can have your own request sent, and that will be automatically taken care by my central coordination team. So that is something we offer you. We have roughly as of now 69 clients in AP serving to them. Definitely we'll look forward for more and more market share. And we're working out of 14 offices as of now, and because of good response from AP and going larger client base in Andhra Pradesh, we are opening tomorrow, might be in Hyderabad, the office in Hyderabad, so as to be close to you. So that is all from my side. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Amit. Now, you know that after this lunch, we have a one-on-one information and clarification session, and Mr. Kumar will be, Amit will be there to clarify any of the issues that you have in your mind. We now have Sri Prashant Khankoje, who would be addressing us, talking to us. Prashant.
Good afternoon, friends. In continuation to the deliberations beginning in the morning, we have a lot of issues and challenges discussed since morning, and now we are offering some solutions which are possible from our side. In continuation to what Mr. Surana said and Mr. Haridhav said in the morning, that there is an option available for RE sources also. My friend Amit has covered the bilateral arrangement for conventional power plant, conventional power. I am covering a bit of RE power available in AP. There is no doubt about the requirement of RE power, because the global energy requirement or the industrial growth totally depends on the energy available in the state. So as every speaker in the morning has said, they have reduced the production because of non-availability of power. So the solution for renewable energy can be thought of. Well, I'll just take a brief about 2003 Electricity Act. After that, what has happened? Because it has opened a gate for all kinds of operations in India as far as the energy sector is concerned. Now we can have a competitive bidding, we can have power trading the first time, we can have open access, and the power sector, private sector participation. That's why we can all standing here and offering a solution to you. After Electricity Act 2003, this is a scenario whether it is a central generating station or a state genco. Initially, they have the consumer has to buy only from a DISCOM, but now the option is available for them to buy from a trader also in the open market. Open access, I am not going to details of definition of open access, because this time everybody is aware what open access means. There are the sections covering governing open access as per the Act. Why open access? Yes, it is possible for the last point, that mitigate risk during the R&C measures, because now it is being imposed in Andhra Pradesh, so we can have little risk mitigation through availability of open access also. I'll just take some more time in this clause from Electricity Act 2003 as a section 86(1)(e), which is specifically for RPO, which also talks about the connectivity to the grid. It also talks about the delicensing of the generation. So with this clause, there are many possibilities available in the market. Whether as a generator you can offer more enhancement of generation by adding add-on RECs. As a consumer, if you are taking open access, you have to fulfill certain obligation. As a DISCOM is also an obligated entity. So it has opened a new market for the renewable energy certificate as a whole. As far as the AP is concerned, the obligation has been announced in a regulation dated 21st March 2012, and overall there is an obligation of 5%, out of which 4.75 is for non-solar and 0.25% of solar. So those who are taking open access from the open access for a conventional power, they have to fulfill certain obligation for buying of RE power. Certain percentage of that, say 5% of that in this year, they have to go from renewable source power. As far as the open access and renewable power in Andhra Pradesh, any developer or generator can generate and sell energy to licensee or any consumer under open access. This is the open access regulation available in Andhra. Wheeling and transmission charges for wind is 5%, Banking is not allowed for wind energy. I request Chairman APRC to have a look at that because the order is old in 2008 and I think the new order will have to be there to take care of this because wheeling and banking and the REC has been introduced after that order. So we have to take care of that. Banking of 100% of solar energy is permitted from January to December of that year. Relief of 50% on surcharge provided to consumers availing on open access from non-conventional energy projects. No cross-subsidy surcharge for open access obtained from third-party sale and captive use, and no ED, that electricity duty, to be paid for solar energy. These are the extract of open access and renewable energy policy in Andhra. As for specifically for wind policy in Andhra, we have conventional concessional wheeling and transmission charges for captive use or third-party sale, the kind of say 5%. Banking of energy generated by eligible developer will not be allowed. This is a concern in Andhra as far as the wind is concerned because uncertain wind, because you cannot predict the wind generation. There has to be banking provision provided. Almost all the states, other states are providing banking. May not be for say a year or so, maybe 6 months or 3 months, or maybe energy accounting can be done on a monthly or a quarterly basis, not on 15 minutes ABT meter basis. Solar policy, no wheeling and transmission charges for which this is a welcome policy because solar policy recently announced in Andhra and which is very much attracting the investors. No wheeling and transmission for wheeling power generated to desired locations for captive third party within the state. However, charges are payable to sell outside the state as per APRC regulation. Cross-subsidy surcharge neither applicable for open access obtained for third-party sale within the state nor for captive use, and no ED. As far as the generator is concerned, this is a point because he may not be having the REC as per the Central Regulatory Commission policy for REC eligibility. But now we are talking only of the consumer side, so this is an option available for consumer to go for an use of solar power within the state. So in continuation to what my friend Amit has said, we as a Global Energy is pleased to offer you a green power solution to your plant. It will may not be possible to mitigate the 100% of risk, but there is a charge. Since the RNC measures is also allowing you to go for an open access for 100 kilowatt and above. So maybe for smaller consumers to have a 500 kilowatt or up to 1 megawatt if the requirement is there, they can definitely talk about either do investment in wind or solar themselves and use a captive, or take a wind power and solar power from within the state available through a trader like Global Energy. So the purchase of such power typically results in mitigating the risk of power shortage besides making your organization a green friendly. So it has got dual benefit to a consumer. This is what I will conclude with. Happy to provide you a complete solution. Either to source RE power if your requirement to have RE power, or if you are already using open access to mitigate or to overcome the obligation, you can buy REC through Global Energy. So as a today's consumer scenario is like this, but we don't wish to have it in more time. So let us target and have some happy faces in future. So either today's scenario is that either you have to lose the production or you have to take very costly power or the expensive power from outside. What is the decision possible? You can have renewable power within the state and at least mitigate some risk and to enhance your say outcome or the total return on investment. Thank you very much. I think I am not covered this Global Energy because it is already covered by. Thank you very much.